Well, I have a new batch of pictures of orbs. I've been at it again, taking even more pictures that I want to show. So I will just go through them. There's about 300 or so here. And the colors are just magnificent in them. It's hard to believe that all this color is all around us. And look at this one. It seems to be that orbs can flow like a waterfall. That looks like it just looks like they can do so many things. They can look so many ways. They can look like fire sometime. And look what this one's doing. I think this was from a batch. I might have shown you this one before, but it's just amazing. And the color changes. This one is going into the yellow-orange colors more than the other one. They are capable of so much movement and so much color and so much patterns, and they're just really amazing me all the time when I look at them. Come this September, I think I will be visiting my sisters. And I want to show them these pictures, but I'm almost reluctant to do it. I've had very few times I get with my sisters because we live far apart, so we don't see each other sometimes for years. And in the past, we have wanted to get together, and we did. But then we discovered we cannot talk about religion or politics. That's two things that we will argue over. We just can't hardly help ourselves. When we do, we don't enjoy our visit so well because too much arguing. So the last visit or two, we've sort of silently made the vow, no more talking about religion or politics. But it's like the elephant in the middle of the room that you have to ignore, because everything that's happening today to people is centers around politics and religious dogma, and just talking about ordinary everyday things brings you into those arenas so often. And I think if I showed them these pictures, which I have, sent them email that, well, really it wasn't email. I posted on Facebook some of these pictures, but they never comment on them. My kids don't comment on them. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I've discovered something here, but I'm not going to get any recognition from it. Maybe that's okay, though. It might go to my head if I did. But I have failed to find any other pictures of orbs quite like these. When I Google it and I look for photons and pictures and of atoms or pictures of light or photons of light or spectrum of light, the spectrums just show the usual colors all lined up, in a certain order like a rainbow. But these orbs, they use color, and they don't use it in any prescribed way. It's like they have a kind of a mind of their own as to what colors they will wear or what movements they will make. Now, I'm a little bit afraid that if I do broach this with my sisters, they'll tell me, well, the devil can be an angel of light or something like that. They're very fundamentalist in their thinking. I would really love to be able to talk about the things I experience and the things I believe with them. But I have decided that until they're ready to hear, and they let that be known that they're ready to hear, it's best I just don't talk at all about anything like this to them. Because I really don't want to be pushy. I don't want to I don't want to force anyone to believe something that they're not ready for, because that's probably not very good for them. But I do believe there will come the day when people will be ready to understand things of this nature. I'm just going to go through them rather quickly. You can see they're so full of color and patterns and movement. Now when I'm taking these pictures, I see a lot of movement that is not what I consider worthy of a picture, because it's forming, it's moving, and it's a lot of light that is not going to make a good picture if I clicked it at that time. Although I have made some videos of this while it is moving, and these little photons of light, some of them that I see, they get in sync with the music that's in the room. If I got music on, they kind of move in sync with that, or so it seems to me. I'm sure all these colors represent something in the language of light. I'll tell you something kind of funny that happened to me. I was looking at the light, and I always see the light differently than these photos will show it rather. And it just, all this color of like laser beams that fall down over me as I direct the light to go toward me where I'm sitting or lying down. And I can see the light looking like there's so many dimensions to it. But one day I had put on this. This is some glitter. It goes over your eye, right below your eyebrows. It goes over your eyes. Anyway, I forgot I had that on, and I was looking at the light shining right in my face. And all at once I saw, wow, when I look up, I see all these little sparkles. It's so beautiful. Oh, this is something new. I haven't seen this before. I had forgotten that I put that kind of makeup on my eyes. And the next night I didn't see the little sparkles. I didn't have the makeup on. So it took me about 2 or 3 days to figure it out that I was seeing the makeup that was on my eyes. But see, part of what I see in front of me is the light reflecting off of my face. And sometimes in some of the light that I see with the naked eye, it looks like all of the light is reflecting parts of my face. It's almost like I were looking at my own self in the light, reflecting back to me. And that's weird. That is a weird feeling. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love this one. Look at that. It folds like, this looks like fabric. Beautiful fabric. And it just ribbons itself out, and it just looks like, for all the world, like a lot of material. And then it looks also like round balls, like you might want to hang on your Christmas tree. Sometimes I go real close inside of an orb, like this one. I like the colors I found there. They are all so very interesting. They show so much in the way of depth and dimension when you're looking at them. And yet, when they come from the light, like this one is coming from the light right here, they come out thin, like, sometimes they already have coloring in them, but mostly they're just like a little thin wafer. But when you see them opened up facing you, look at the dimension in this one. And the colors, it's unbelievable what they do with color. When I look at these orbs, even if I don't take their picture, sometimes I just use my camera to gaze at them. and see what they're up to. Well, it's a fascinating thing. It's like researching into another dimension. This one looks like an egg that cracked open. See, it looks like an orb, and it got cracked right there. Excuse me. And see, this orb, it's rolled up like a scroll, and it's on top of another orb that has this piece of fabric in it. That's what it looks like, but that's not actually what it is. All I can say that what this is light. And light is energy, and energy is something that moves and that moves things. But also, we are part of the equation. I keep thinking of that now. I wouldn't see this if I weren't moving the camera around and moving the object with the light shining off of it around. So what I see is dependent on me to a certain degree. It's definitely an observation of our interaction with the light. I wish I could make some kind of conscious connection with it. I did one time, and I spoke about that in my last video where I explained my third eye opening, or beginning to open. But for the most part, I don't get much communication. Wish I did. And that could change. It does seem like what I'm seeing evolves, because I'm getting pictures unlike the very first ones I got. This is a funny one. It's got little tracks of something all over it. That kind of makes an eye. Look there. I'm tracing around. It's like a big old eye outline. I like them when I catch them like this, because then I can just move the camera a little, and what is in this big round one becomes another one. As you see, another one is forming, but it is forming because this one is adding to it so that it will form. Light moves in such strange and marvelous and magnificent ways, and creates so many patterns. I could take pictures all day long. I really could. Now see this one. Let's see if I can. Now look at this one. I'll just move it around a bit. I like this one. This one I should have made into a mural of some sort. Looks almost like a wave of water. So this looks like fire sometimes. It looks like water sometimes. It looks like land sometimes. And it looks like a fan quite often. And it looks like a ribbon sometimes. It's not repeatable though. I cannot go and be able to do this again and get this same exact picture right here, for example. It's not going to be something that can be repeatable that way. It's always different. Now, see, this one kind of ribboned out. It's coming from this edge over here of something else and going out as a ribbon. Well, the shape of a ribbon. They are very mysterious and very beautiful. Look at the color in this one. This would make a good mural. I might want to get this one blown up real big, if I ever get around to it. Look at the patterns in this and the weaving. It's like they're the best tapestry weavers ever. So how many orbs are in this picture? Well, it's the quantum whirl, so you don't get to count. It's the whirl where 2 and 2 doesn't add up to 4, because one orb can just lengthen its body and stretch out and move and flow like a river, or like you were pouring something out of a vase of water, was pouring down and just falling over itself. And on its course, it makes other of these photons. Maybe this is where this white area might be where a whole lot of them are going to come forth from that. But who knows how many. So you can't get real analytical about it, because it's beyond understanding. For me, anyway. Look at this one, how it's moved, and it just, well, this is maybe several. They do get together, and I like the way they interact with one another, because they share their colors. They're like friendly to one another. When darkness comes into one, it just sort of absorbs the darkness, and the colors come on through. In other words, the light doesn't shun the darkness. It works with the darkness and makes even more brilliant colors that way. I thought that one was interesting. It's like a slide. Like you're gonna, like those water park rides where you get on something and float down or fall down, and water all along the way. I have had people say to me in their comments that they've never seen orbs like this. And I have to say that orbs probably, and this is just my conjecturing, there's probably all kinds of orbs that do all kinds of different things. And while I think there is intelligence in this energy, this light, it may not be the same kind of intelligence of, say, an entity. It may be like the intelligence of the cells of our body, like the little organs and cells of our body. They know what to do, and they have an intelligence, like a cell in the liver knows how to perform the duties of the liver or the kidney or whatever. So they are intelligent, and I think everything carries a kind of intelligence. But there are degrees, and there are purposes. That's very beautiful. It looks like a hallway here. You could walk right into the center of this. Probably I need to get one of those viewer programs where you can do things with each film, where you can have it like fade right or fade left, or you can have it do so many other things that would make this color look very interesting with those programs on it. I can do the pan in and pan out and the circle and the rectangle and a few others that Picasso lets me do. Let's see. If I had it on the movie mode, it would be in circle mode right now. I like this one here, pan and zoom. Let me start that going and you'll see how that brings it up real close, and the next picture will pan it out. I'll leave it on that for a while. But there are some programs that do way more things than this. They may make it all look like a butterfly or something, and it just fades out as a butterfly. And this would lend itself real well to that because of all the color. This one just absolutely amazed me. All this color just rained down. I snapped real quick to get that picture. I didn't want to lose it. I think anyone can take pictures like this. I've explained how I do it many a time, and so far only 1 or 2 people have mentioned that they've done this and were able to get some pictures of orbs. I wish more people would try it to see if it's possible, and let me know even if they fail, because I need to know something about this. I need to know whether this is an individual thing or whether everybody or anybody can do it. I would hope that everybody could do it, because if they could, they would really enjoy it, as I do. I think they would just love coming up with all these beautiful colored pictures. It's like an art gallery here. I don't have to do any painting. I don't have to get a paintbrush and paint, and really I just need to use my imagination and work with developing pictures from off the computer. Maybe get some of them turned into wallpaper or made into other things where these colors show up, and decorate something, because they are very, very much art. In a way, I'm the artist, because I choose when to snap the picture as I'm looking at the light. But the light is the real artist. Look at this one. This is one that's not got much color yet, and it's just folding and unfolding from its round stage. Sometimes they look exactly like a scroll. Uh-oh. I stopped it somehow from going. Okay, there it goes again. It's a spaceship. I did it again. I did it again. Okay. Get going. There it goes. And there it stops. I'll just click onto them. I do wish I knew more about how to do things on the computer. I do what I need to do, but I could do so much more if I were to learn new programs. And I guess I have to say I have a little fear about that, because I think, oh, I probably can't learn that. That's going to be too complicated. And that's a problem I have. I shouldn't feel that way. So I think I am going to begin looking for a program that works with pictures and does different than just pan out and pan in and circle and rectangle and all of that. See how the light in this just goes down and then kind of turns up right here at the end and blends in with an orb to the side or under it or wherever. All this color is all around us. Sometimes I think color is what makes things what they are. That color is an entity. That it is an intelligence. I'm going to try the pan and zoom again. There it goes. There it stopped. Okay, go. Now don't just go one time. Go the rest of the way. Ah, it's working again. I must have done something right. Isn't that one beautiful? I think I've got it set for about 8 seconds for a picture to be there and then fade out. I know the movement is interesting to me, to see the move. Orbs are always touching one another and making that vesica piscis when the two circles meet and make a little third form in the middle of them. I made this outside the other day. I was looking at the clouds, but when I make a picture of things like this one, oh, I want to go back to that. I will stop it on this one. Oops. Look, in this one, there's all kinds of little orbs in the sunlight. And big orbs. And colorful little orbs. All coming. I was shooting into the sun, and yes, I did have a piece of glass. I was trying to get the glass to make a shiny spot I could project into the sky, which I do that a lot. And usually I get an orb like this big one you see right here. But when I looked at this picture, I realized I had captured lots of little tiny orbs that seemed to be coming down from the sun. I do believe that there are beginning to be gazillions of these orbs coming into our world, because I watch other people's videos too, and that is something that they've been thinking perhaps, that is happening. I mean, 2012 came, and December the 21st, 2012 came and went, and people thought something big was going to happen. But this is a happening that has been happening, and it's stepping up. It's not going to just all at once burst out. And be something so phenomenal. You really are going to have to be looking. And many people are searching the heavens and everything. Of course, if you're a fundamentalist, you're searching for the calamities and the doomsday things that are going to be happening, because that's what they believe. I'm glad I'm not subject to thoughts like that, because those kind of thoughts are not easy to live with. Also, they're not true. Occasionally I get a comment from some fundamentalist Christian who tells me I'm allowing orbs into my life and that that's evil. I have never felt anything but love or goodness from the picture taking I've done of orbs. I've never felt anything because I don't imagine evil and I don't imagine bad calamities happening. And our world is responding to our imagination, and I hope more people will imagine well instead of go with some prophecy they think is doomsday, because they can bring it about to a certain degree, to themselves personally and as a whole to the whole country. But we have to just be more positive than they are negative, and we can counteract that. I was reading an esoteric book one day, and it was made this statement that I realized a lot of people would not agree with. And it was this: evil is both good and necessary. Think about that. Without that contrast, we wouldn't really know what good is. Just like you don't know what is tall if you don't know what is short. Doesn't mean that we have to go to such extremes on the negative that it just becomes something so horrible. But it is important to do the thing that the Bible claims God did when He made the world. He called it all good. So all your creations, call them good. Don't call them bad. Because even if they weren't what you wanted them to be, at least they were something that gave you a lesson that you could learn from. So you don't have to repeat that anymore. And that's good. I think we should all think that we're very fortunate that we're here alive on earth right now at this time. Because we're here for, I think, the big happening that has never happened before anywhere. Something is going to become realized that no universe has ever experienced before, with so many people awakening and realizing who they are while in a body. I think we're here to usher in something quite eventful that has the attention of beings all over the universe. What is going on Earth is very important. But it's really important to watch your imagination and not get into fear. Nor get into judgment. Either of those are not really good. We can just be an observer and say, well, this appeals to me and this doesn't. And that's about just all you have to say, yay or nay. You don't have to demonize people that you think are wrong. I know I had a tendency to do that myself with some of the fundamentalist Christians, because it seemed that they were hurting other people with their comments on, say, being gay or people who get an abortion. And it's like they don't realize that they themselves are being in judgment of another, and that's not good. Some decisions you make yourself. You don't make them for everybody else, because that's interfering with the free will of another person. I don't like those religions that say we're right, we're the only ones right, and if you don't believe it our way, you're going to hell. I don't like that. And that does seem like they're becoming less popular every day, people who talk like that. And yet, the way they see it, they're being persecuted because they're not being accepted for all of their strange ways of thinking. Let's see, I'm at 35 minutes. Wow, I still have a few more orbs to go. I do wish I could get quantum physicists involved in looking at light this way. Because for all the work they do in the study and building of big instruments to toss atoms around at a fast rate and all of that, it's like, okay, well, don't you want to have some pictures of what some of this looks like besides just drawings? I mean, they don't show us much. I'm going to go through the rest of these before I run out of time. Oh, I'm going to do it this way. This one's interesting. Well, maybe I will get their attention someday. As a matter of fact, it might not be all that long before I do. And the reason I say that is because there's a documentary being made that I'm part of. Me and 2 other people. And the film crew that I mentioned that came here and listened to me talk and took a lot of video of me talking about different things. They also took pictures of me getting these orbs. So maybe, since that will become something that's seen by a lot of people, maybe I will get the attention of the physicist. I can see how it's easy to think that just some little light shining off of a place where it collects, like on a marble or anything else where light collects, that to think that that is something. People think, oh, well, that's just light shining on an object. Big deal. But when it looks like this, when you can focus on it and get pictures of it looking like this, and you see the movement of the photons of light and how it is that they move about and change and fill up with color, and sometimes they lose all their color, and the way they blend with other orbs of light that are also photons. Why isn't that important, is what I think. I think there's much to be learned from this. I do recognize that I don't have all the answers, and I would like, people who are trained at thinking of more ways to look at light, what they could do with this. There's all kinds of experiments that could be made that would determine a little more than what I'm able to determine about this light. Sometimes I wonder why I was given this ability to find this out about light when I'm not one who gets out there that much and mingles with other people. I mean, I could go to a workshop where light workers are working with other people, and they're doing discussions and experiments with one another. I could do that, but I don't. I don't know why I don't. I mean, because there could be some workshops where everybody brings their camera, and I show them how to make the picture, and we all make pictures of light in the workshop. When I was with a friend in Arizona, and he was taking pictures with me of this light, I could get him to sit in, excuse me, and to sit in a chair in a certain place in the light, and I could put the orbs right around him, colorful ones too. I could make them like be over his head, or he could hold his hand out and I could make them be like in his hand. So there's great fun that can be done with these orbs. Making pictures, if nothing else. Creating art, if nothing else. But there is a lot of else. There is a lot to this. More than I can even express. Because light is a language in a way. It's just not a language where you speak it with your mouth. And this light responds mostly in a way that I feel like I am sort of communicating when there is great emotion felt, or great joy, and sometimes even sorrow. And I do notice that some of the orbs that I see in other people's videos, they come around in large amounts by people being together in some place, celebrating. It's like they like enthusiasm on the part of people. They like to look at that and make their presence be where a lot of people are very happy. And around children, you see them a lot. I could see a lot of this beautiful orb photography being the backdrop for a stage performance or something like that. I have been wanting to find a kind of camera, if they make such a thing, that when you're taking the film, it's also being seen on a screen right in front of you live in real time. But I'm told that to set up that, that's like television is, of course, you know, that it's kind of expensive to set something up that will do that. But wouldn't this be nice to show the orbs behind the person speaking and the colors that they synchronize with their singing or their talking or whatever? I think it would be very, very interesting. I have done a little of that with the computer on and someone singing a song. Some of my videos are about that. And I observed the orb in real time as the person singing. I made a video of it. And sometimes it looks like the orbs are in sync with the person's voice or they're singing. So what this energy, this light energy is showing us, well, there goes a marble, fell off my desk. What it is showing us, I don't know, but I know it's showing us something. Something that maybe would be helpful to us to learn about. The documentary that I'm going to be in was being made about Peace Pilgrim, actually. The ones that are making the film had made a documentary about Peace Pilgrim, and they interviewed some of the people who came to the Peace Pilgrim Center, and I was one of them. And I found out about Peace Pilgrim just when I went into a thrift store and found one of her books. Well, not that she wrote it. It was written by people who collected a lot of her speeches and just put them in the book and just put them all together and got a lot of her wisdom from that. And so the documentary they're making now, years and years later, is how did her influence on the lives of the people who went to the center, how did it affect our life? So that's what the documentary is going to be about. I'm looking forward to it coming out. Anyway, I think I've about used up all my time. I'll go through a few of these. I would love to have a mural of that right there. It looks like some kind of crystal cave to walk into. Just so beautiful. So, this is the Dove Lady. This is all I have to say for today. See you next time. Over and out for now.